The Great Debaters Contest is powered by Blaze, by Safaricom, the Youth Network.
Bienvenue chez GDC. This is the Great Debaters Contest, the Meru edition, and I'm your host, Austin Yombok.
And I am Mariam Bishar. Today we're trying to find out whether the idea of reducing inequality is a myth that cannot be achieved. We have Ruiri Girls Going versus Garissa High School. Let's let them take the stage and wow us now. Proposer number 1, you have 3 minutes.
True equality only exists in heaven. The belief that all men are created equal is but a wishful thinking. For men are created different in character and strength, also well in everything. I'm Suleiman Abdulrazak from Garissa High School, proposing the motion that states reducing inequality is a myth that can't be achieved. Starting with the definition of the terms, to reduce is to break down in size, quality, quantity, or degree. Inequality is the technical or social imbalance that exists between two parties that despair in the kind of treatment, recognition, or general imbalance in consideration. A myth is a widely held but false belief. To achieve is to successfully reach about. It's possible to confiscate all property and provide with citizens well enough to keep them alive. It's also possible to create dumbed-down schools that can make people equally ignorant. What is impossible is to guarantee equality in opportunity. For a child born surrounded by books will have a better opportunity to develop in life than a child surrounded by crushed beer cans. A child born in central Kenya will have a better opportunity to develop educationally than a child born in northern region where teachers have vacated due to insecurity. I will say that as far as different ethnic groups in Kenya different ethnic groups in Kenya, the word equality will remain to be a myth. Inequality is such a natural order that can only be doctored by a natural means. Even then, it won't disappear. It will be replaced by the worst type of inequality camouflaged by demagoguery. Thank you, and I rest my case.
Thank you. Ladies, you have 3 minutes to give us your opening statements.
Inequality. What can be done to reduce inequality? What has been done to reduce inequality? And what are the results out of the doing? Christy McKenna, Ruiri Girls, opposing the motion that says reducing inequality is a myth that cannot be achieved. There are so many ways of killing a rat. Burning the house is one of them. And this is how we can ban this rat called inequality. On my first point, let's talk about uniform. The uniforms has formed the basis of equality in Kenyan schools. Look at them. Can you tell the son of poor and the son of rich? No, you cannot. It's all because of the uniform. And that's one solution and achievement that you have made. He has said equality is found at heaven only. Is this stage heaven? Is it? It's not. On my second point, education. In the past, the men used to believe that a girl child had no value of education. But the government and everybody in Kenya has proven to us that a girl child and a boy child can do well in education. This is why we can see it very clearly. Even our debate officials has proven to us. You can see there are 3 boys, there are 3 girls on the same stage, proposing and opposing the same point motion, which brings about equality. My dear proposers, What is this? Mwenye macho ambuya tazame. It's a spoon. And yet, they can dare write to us and try to convince us to call this a spade. No, we can't call it a spade. We can see equality. Equality is here. And yet they can say we can't achieve equality. My dear proposers, just accept it and help us in removing this cat out of the bag. Thank you.
Okay, gentlemen, we'll hear your rebuttal now. You have 3 minutes.
All thanks goes to Meru High School University for providing us and concurring us with the motion. Please, my beloved audience, have a look at the motto of Meru School. It states, in education, be men. Why not women? Why? Why not women? Anyway, please. My name is Abdirsaq Ali Ismail from Garissa High School, and a great affirmative of the motion which states that reducing inequality is a myth that can't be achieved. Just to cross-examine, you talk about a spoon being called a spade. I have my eyes and I can differentiate between a spoon and a spade, please. As for what you said about, and you have considerately said that we have 3 girls here and 3 boys here. But you have not talked about the judges. The judges, women are 3, and we have 1 man there. Anyway, starting with my first point about gender inequality. Gender inequality is all about the unfairness that exists between opposite sex. For example, decision making in the family. The father is always spearheads making decisions, but the mother doesn't have a say in making affairs of the family. And also in Saudi Arabia, women are not allowed to own a driving license. And they can't even open a bank account without the permission of their husband or their father. Why is it so? Culture and tradition is another important factor. These two go hand in hand with inequality. How? There is this woman from Igboland. It's an ethnic group in Nigeria. She says that her right to, she's not allowed to rule in any case. Why is it so? Is it because it's taken as an abomination for any woman to rule while we have many of them who can? Another issue to be considered is about in Mount Kenya, here, as we hear, Mount Kenya. The birth of a girl child is celebrated with 4 ululations, but that of a boy, it's 5 ululations. And also during early upbringing of the children, boy is given a toy gun while the girl is given a doll. You see? So inequality doesn't only exist in women. Even in men, there are many non-governmental organizations that spearhead and champion women. But men are not championed by non-governmental organizations. Even on the crackdown of terror suspects, only men are the first to be suspected. My second point is all about racism. Black people are taken as a caste in most developed countries. For example, in the United States of America, taking a research from Census University, it showed that 7,000 cases are reported for racism onto the black people only. Why is it so? Also, why do our girls bleach themselves? Why don't you ask if they don't disregard their color, why do they bleach themselves? Why do we start washing white clothes while we wash the black ones and the others later? Ask yourself, if we want an end to inequality, if you want an end to inequality, please, and we are propagating it yourself, it will remain a myth.
Ladies, you have 3 minutes for your rebuttal.
Please, you have to admit the truth. You have to admit the facts and accept the reality that reducing inequality is a myth that cannot be achieved. Join I, Wanjiko Nancy, as I take you through this journey. Before I say my first point, I want to correct these guys. They have said that this is about the school motto. They have said because the school motto is like that because this is automatically a boys' school. And when you go to a girls' school, you'll find a different motion stating about the girls. And also, let's let's leave alone the judges. They have talked about the judges. What about Miriam and Austin? Are they the judges? This is equality in the host. It is so evident in them. I go to my first point, leadership and governance. What is leadership? What is governance? What has been made in our country to equalize governance and leadership? And I want to tell you that both men and women can participate to become the presidents of these of our countries. On to my second, but on the same leadership on the points, I want to compare a lady who is Wangari Maathai. This was a lady of substance. This is evident as she was a political activist. She was also the first woman to win the Peace Nobel Prize after some other men, and she and James Adan of the United States were among the women who won the Nobel Prize winners. To compare them, I want to compare them with Barack Obama, Kofi Annan, and Nelson Mandela, who are also the winners of these Nobel Peace Prizes. Isn't there this equality that both men and women can win this Nobel Prize? It is evident. Or should I summon this lady from her grave, Wangari Maathai, to come and prove this? No, because it is evident. So my proposers, you have to agree with me that you have to agree with me to oppose this motion that reducing inequality is a myth that cannot be achieved. On to my second point. I want to talk about choosing of lifetime partners. Both men and women take part in paying of the dowry. This is evident as women in India are proven also to pay dowries because they pay dowries to the men, and also in some countries like Kenya, men are the ones who are paying dowry. Isn't this reducing inequality? Thank you.
Third proposer, you have 3 minutes.
My name is Suleiman Al-Salat from Garissa High School. In as much as the little biology I have learned during pregnancy, it is the female partner who carries the baby in the stomach for 9 months. She carries the first baby, she carries the second baby, sometimes up to the 10th. There's no one at a time the male partner will carry the baby in his stomach. My sister, Nancy Wanjala, how happy will you have been if your partner will have carried the second baby or the third baby some years to come when you marry? That is a question. On to my second point is about the issue of sex determination. It's the issue of sex determination. In biology, book 4, chapter 1, about genetics, courtesy of Mr. Kamau Karanja, who have taught me biology, is that it is the male partner who determines the sex of the child. This is because he has the X chromosome and the Y chromosome, whereas the female has the XX chromosome. She is homogametic. So it is the female who now donates the X chromosome for that child to be a girl or the Y chromosome for that child to be a boy. There's no one at a time the female partner has the right to determine the sex of the child. So this is inequality that's in nature, and there's nothing you can do about it. You see? There's nothing you can do about it to reduce. There's nothing you can do about it. That is the biotic bit of it. Let's also look about the abiotic inequalities on the earth. Look at water distribution on earth. Look at water distribution. There's only 3% fresh water on land, while the other 97% is in the oceans and salty. You see? Look at that inequality. Let's go. Look at trees distribution on planet Earth. Let's compare Amazon forest in South America vis-a-vis Sahara Desert in North America. Compare the two. When will you transfer those trees from there to Sahara Desert? Thank you.
Ladies, we'll hear your response to the audience. You have 3 minutes.
Reducing inequality is a myth that cannot be achieved. I, Joy Gitonga, Ruiri girls, oppose this motion. But first, to answer the question that my brother has asked there, you've said that women in some countries are not allowed to vote. In this motion, we have not yet reduced inequality. We are trying to reduce it. And to my opposers, you have said that it would be very good where both partners could share the carrying of a fetus. According to biology point of view, if a man does not release a sperm, no fusion of gametes is going to take place. So they both share. On to my first point, racism. Equality is seen whereby it might have been thought that Africans can't make good leaders. But this has been proven whereby, despite the fact that Africans had been colonized by the Europeans in the ancient era, we are seeing some Africans have been able to raise and stand up and match the standards of ruling in other countries. Let's take an example with Barack Obama, the former UN president. He is an African. It is very easy to confuse him for a white following his light complexion. But the fact remains that Barack Obama is an African, not only by title, but the African blood runs in his veins. On to my second point. Women take part. We are seeing equality whereby women are taking part in jobs that were first believed to be male-dominated. Let's take an example with Elizabeth Marama, 25 years old, who took a 5 years training in Alexandria University, Egypt, and sails the Barrel 2 ship in Likoni, which was launched on 16th December 2016. This is very evident. If Elizabeth has risen and can sail a ship, we all know that we have very many male captains, but Elizabeth has shown us that women can also sail ships. This is very evident, and it shows that both a man and a woman are able. This shows that what a man can do, a woman can also do. And mark my words, I have not said a woman can do it better. What a man can do, a man can also do it. Thank you.
Final submissions now. Garissa High School, you have 1 minute.
I'm very happy that you have known that both of them share the vision, but you have never said that both of them also share the carrying of the child. Let's go forward. Let's also have a look at the distribution of minerals and rocks on the earth surface. Some are more, some are less. There is an equal distribution, and there's nothing we can do about that thing. Let's also look at inequality in income. Compare a hustler in Kibera, Islam, and the president of Kenya, their income. Will those two people at one time sail in the same boat? No. That is automatically no. So another question is about religious inequality. In the Bible, in the book of Colossians, chapter 3, verse 18 says that women should submit to men. And in the Holy Quran, chapter 4, verse 34 says that men are the protectors and maintainers of women, and men are superior to women. So this is creation, and these are the words of God. I hope we all believe in religious books. I hope we all So do you want to question your creator? Do you want to question God? So this is something This is something beyond us. Inequality is something beyond us. Inequality is part of us. Let us learn to live in equality. To attain a sustainable development goals, let us learn to live with inequality because it is part of us. Thank you.
Okay, ladies, re-regards, you have 1 minute.
You have said that men and women can never be equal. Then, do you think that God was foolish when he removed one rib from Adam and put it to Eve? Were we told that he replaced Adam's rib? Are we told that in the Bible? We are not. The other point is that you said earlier that black people are taken to be a curse. Then why is Obama not taken to be a curse? He is a black man, despite the fact that he has a light complexion. You have been trying to convince us that there's not a day that will come where man and woman are going to be equal. Then, in the first place, what then is the essence of us girls taking part in such a debate? Okay, there is this other thing. We see equality whereby American artists are having collaborations with African artists. Let's take an example of Wizkid, an African artist, and the famous Drake, an American artist. If equality was not there, then I should have to convince you that Drake would have chosen a fellow American artist to have a collaboration with. But who does he choose? Wizkid, an African artist. This shows that despite the fact that Wizkid is an African artist, he is also well able. Thank you.
To the gentleman, Garissa, I think for me, the person who stands out is Suleiman. That was very commendable. I think you're lethal in a way, and you come across as this one who's not intimidated at all. And I think the examples, the diversification that you brought about inequality was very good. For the girls, they centered more on gender. But for the boys, we saw a lot of even resources. You talked about water, you talked about education, we talked about wealth and the likes. That was commendable. So you took us in a very good spectrum. And so from where I stand, I want to appreciate what you have done. Let's wait for the results.
Christine, very, very good opening. And thank you for, pointing out uniforms as the great equalizer for everybody. It is actually very true. And bringing up education inequality. Nancy, excellent work and good for bringing in leadership and governance inequalities. Because when we talk about inequalities, we tend to focus more on gender instead of the full spectrum. So thank you for bringing that in. Good job. And for citing Ellen Johnson-Sirleaf, it's a very good example of actually, leadership diversity. Joy, you are an excellent speaker. And for Ruiri girls, I'm pointing you out as outstanding. Very, very good job. I would have liked you to focus a lot more on methods of reducing inequalities, because you pointed out global examples of where we have reduced inequalities, but I would also like us to tackle, okay, so how do we, it's not a myth that we can actually reduce them, and these are the methods in which we can go about reducing them. I would have liked to see a little bit of that. But all in all, excellent work, young ladies. You've done a very, very good job.
The boys, our first speaker, very good. You started the team quite well, and so was it picked by the second and the third. You're a great team. You have done justice to the motion. I would not really say much. Your illustrations were good, were on point. Keep it up. The girls, you've also done it quite well. You gave the questions quite well to the boys, especially Christine. Your first rhetorical question was quite good, on point. You put the other team really on the receiving end. Nancy and Joy, you have done well. Maybe the issue that would raise will be Joy Gitonga. You talked of Barack Obama being African. I'm not really sure about that. I thought he's actually both, and you actually kept repeating over and over. So maybe a little bit of your research just to get the things right. Otherwise, I wish the best team all the best. Ruiri girls, the judges awarded you 70%. Please give them a round of applause. The gentlemen of Garissa High School, the judges awarded you 74%, making you the winners of this debate.
Wow. Congratulations to the two teams on stage. That was a wonderful debate. We'd like to thank you, members of the audience, and our viewers back home. Please keep watching on KBC Channel 1 and continue the conversation. Hashtag GDC for SDGs. I have been your host, Austin Nyambok.
I am Mariam Bishar. Thank you for watching.
The Great Debaters Contest is powered by Blaze, by Safaricom, the Youth Network.